In this video, I'll be going over the various releases of Batman Hush. What's going on, everybody? This is Alex, and today we are talking about Hush. With the 50th Anniversary Deluxe hardcover that was released last month, I thought it would be as good a time as any to review all the editions that came out in the past decade and a half. So let's get right into it. Hush is known to be considered as one of the more recent masterpieces in the Batman mythos. It basically has everything, like all the main supporting characters in the Bat family and the introduction of a new villain that has managed to unite Batman's rogues gallery. It is such an extremely wide-ranging story by the master Jeff Loeb, who is mainly known for crafting the Long Halloween. Jeff is coupled with an all-star art team that is truly the best in the business. Jim Lee doing the flawless pencils, Scott Williams inking, and Alex Sinclair who finishes it off with his stunning color work. Here is a rundown of all the editions of Hush I came across since 2002. First up, we are looking at what most readers and collectors focus on, and it's the good old Floppies. Hush ran from Batman 608 in December 2002 all the way up to Batman 619 in November 2003, which is a total of 12 issues. If you decide to take this route, all the issues will probably run you around $60 to $100. That is, of course, if you are looking for it in very fine to near-mid condition. Although, you may also be lucky to find most of these issues on the very cheap end. That is, if you are fortunate to have one of those local comic book stores that sells back issues just above cover price. I would imagine that you would go down this route purely if you're a collector, as the prices wouldn't justify compared to what you would get from a reading experience of one of the collected editions. If that's the case, you may also want to consider picking up these issues pre-slab to avoid the risk of getting dodgy copies, which is typical of eBay. For the cheapest reading option, I recommend picking up the trade. It retails for $25 US, but you can easily pick this up anywhere between $14 and $16 from sites like Amazon or in-stock trades. But if you know me well, I would personally go pick this up at your local comic book store, as they need as much support from the local neighborhood. As for what is included, this was originally a 2-volume trade that was released in July and October 2004, but was later combined and reprinted in a single trade paperback in 2009. The single trade contains all 12 issues, a 6-page interlude from Wizard issue 0 that sits in between issues 16 and 17, and a 2-page origin story that had first appeared on DCComics.com. In terms of extras, we only get the variant covers and a few sketches. After Hush finished up in 2003, DC collected this by first releasing its standard-sized hardcover format split into 2 volumes. Volume 1 comprises of 608 to 612, while Volume 2 compiles the rest with 613 to 619 and Wizard issue 0. And before you start typing in the comment section whether we get any additional wraparound art underneath the dust jacket, unfortunately no. It's the standard black cardboard where after a reading session your hands will look like you spent hours deep in a coal mine, so best leave the dust jacket on when reading. Extras are limited as expected from most standard hardcover releases, with a variant cover gallery and just 5 sketches. If you aren't familiar with the oversized hardcover Unwrapped line, please have a flip through the next time you visit your local comic book store. In my personal opinion, it gives you a different experience reading the book raw. After you are done, you'll probably get a new sense of appreciation for the extremely detailed pencil work by the artist, and what a better way to jump into this line than with Hush. In regards to the content, just like the 2-volume hardcover and the trade paperback, we get a complete story of all the issues that include Wizard issue 0 and the intro that first appeared in DCComics.com. The extras in this edition is very complimentary, where we get a boatload of sketches and we also get an introduction by Scott Williams. Now, speaking of Scott Williams, we actually get to see them both shine in this oversized Noir edition. Inkers sometimes get the bad rap of being called tracers by ignorant fans.
How should I sign this?
I don't want you to sign it, man. I want the guy that draws Blunt Man and Chronic to sign it. You're just a tracer.
But the truth is that they are really taken for granted, as they really play a major factor in aiding the story. A lot of inkers today clean up the raw pencils, but with Scott, he actually doubles down on Lee's pencils. Scott does a complimentary job, adding clarity and detail we see on every page of Hush. The new Noir editions are actually taller than the current oversized hardcover and slightly wider. This is actually a happy medium between standard size trade paperbacks and an absolute. I know it would drive people's OCD crazy, but a part of me wished that DC had the courage to do this with all their oversized hardcover releases. The dimensions is not only the difference here with this Noir editions, but also thick paper stock. Comparing against the Unwrapped edition, the book is nearly twice as tall. You may instantly think that this Noir edition may have a higher page count due to more extras in this 2011 release, but in fact it actually has fewer pages by only containing a 4-page variant cover gallery and nothing else. This is a testament on how thick the paper stock actually is. My only minor gripe here on this edition is that I wish they made the cover with a glossy finish, since this is a huge oil magnet. I have even seen copies in Barnes & Noble where the cover had Cheeto stains. So the lesson of the day, kids, is before picking up the Noir edition, please wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water. Moving on to the centerpiece of all these releases, the absolute format really needs no introduction. Everything about this book shines. Even though it's not to the caliber of the Sandman and Preacher absolutes, it is still a major upgrade compared to the other editions of Hush. Lee and Williams truly benefit from the oversized pages due to their style, but most importantly, Alex Sinclair really gets to show off his complete range. Colorists also tend to get overlooked just like inkers, but to me they are the cinematographer of the comic book industry. They set the tone and can direct your eyes to certain elements on the page itself. For the Absolute, we get the motherload of extras. Not only do we get an in-depth conversation between Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee and Bob Greenberger, but also an annotation from Jim Lee, a step-by-step breakdown of his pencil work, product designs and a boatload of sketches. All in all, a whopping 57 pages of extras. Lastly, we get the 15th Anniversary Deluxe Edition with a brand new cover by Jim Lee. If you don't want to go all out on the Absolute Edition, this would be your best option, as you will be getting all the content and extras as you would get from the Absolute. Besides a very tiny amount of gutter loss due to its tight binding, we still get a solid offering from DC. So there you have it. Hopefully I have given you all a comprehensive look at most of the Hush editions that have been released. If I missed anything, shoot me a comment in the section below. Also, let me know what editions of Hush have you bought over the years and whether you'll be picking up the 15th Anniversary Edition. Smash that like button on this video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to check out my Instagram and Twitter feeds, as that's where you'll find me posting my weekly pickups and thoughts on all things mostly DC. Many thanks to you all again for your continued support this year. This is Alex and I'll catch you in the next video.
Oh,